be live. I think. I might be live. I am hoping that I am live. Okay. So.
Okay.
Alright.
So. Okay.
Alright. I've been live for 1 minute. Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I am playing Stanley the Parable. Yep, I remember you. Shout out to Minecraft Mining Sim Teacher. But let's begin. I've seen gameplay of this, so just wanted to see what's going on.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what Employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Until he wasn't.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong.
Is he a water ball?
Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alright. So, this is Stanley Parable, if you didn't guess. For the person that was here that knows what I'm doing, sorry. But yes, I'm streaming this and trying to make a series on it. I don't have my camera with me today because I am currently not home. I'm away. So we're just gonna do. Is it horror?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Meeting room.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright, so I don't like to follow orders and I'd love to do the opposite, so he said my door on my left. Alright, I'm going down the door on the right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Okay. But, yeah, I can tell he's getting irritated.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Sorry, man.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I live in your
Look,
walls.
Stanley, I think perhaps
Okay.
we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult,
Shit!
but in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do,
I didn't mean
Stanley
to.
leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
I meant
Good
to.
job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I meant to jump from the thing. I wasn't high enough. Okay, let's do this again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I wonder how like. I wonder if I could how much I
When
can push
Stanley
this
came
button.
to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct
The
way into the
narrator would
meeting
get
room,
pissed.
and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps
System
he wanted
update.
to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Beautiful room, soaking it all in.
Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
That's a beautiful room. Okay, this is my left. Let's go.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
America.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important.
Getting
Stanley
pissed.
walked through the red door.
Through the red door. Cool.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood.
Oh shit.
Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Is there another door in here? Oh, blue door.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
I wish I could
You
fly.
might think I put a lot of time into that, because I did. And in the
He
end, it
should
was all
stay
for
mad.
nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles?
Towers?
Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far.
No.
Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to
You
stop
bastard.
you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the
I'm
data
gonna
from
try
the
to push
previous
his buttons as
playthrough,
much
I've
as
compiled a
possible.
new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Leaderboard. Hey, leaderboard. Yeah. Okay, that's just making fun. They're just making fun of me. Wow. Okay, fuck you too.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Now that makes me more fucking depressed.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some play testing. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger.
Oh no.
You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game. All
Press
about
the button to
desperation
keep him
and
back
tedium
from the
of endlessly
fire.
confronting the demands of family life. I
Alright.
think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
I'm not a bad person, but I just want to see what happens.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
I've never played Firewatch.
Fascinating.
What the hell?
What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation?
They
Well,
put
it
me in
seems obvious to
Firewatch.
me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose.
Okay,
Yeah.
so out of all games I have on my system, they put me in one of the games I dislike the most.
That must be it. What
They
a
put me in
fascinating
Firewatch.
venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
I still think Do You Copy's a better game.
Oh, no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly, block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You really wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions.
What?
No path to follow. You
I'm
can
about
just
to boot
go
up my
in
phone.
Oh, thank heavens we avoided
There's someone commenting on my video.
Woods now, Stanley.
That sounds like a Minecraft
I'm
door.
going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Alright, Donald Trump game.
Oh,
Hey, he said massive walls. I thought it was
this
Donald
would be
Trump.
just the thing.
Don't put me in a China game. Holy hell. Okay, I got like
Wonderful. See, this is exactly
18
what
hours. I
had
got
in
like
mind.
maybe
Just a nice
800
big box
hours in
for you
this?
to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here?
Rocket League.
There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back
Oh.
here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Oh god, that's a big ball. I can't run. You can't jump. I got a trophy for that.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun?
Get
Is it
your
better than
first
my
trophy.
miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even
I'm gonna have more than one ball?
euphoric sports experience.
Alright, bring on the balls.
Here comes another ball. Yes! Oh goodness, that really
Rocket
does
League
feel amazing,
from
doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls!
This dude likes more balls. For some reason it's no longer fun. I'm joking. It's really fun. Oh, 2 in a row? I like that. Yes, I'm actually enjoying it.
Is this a real video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over.
Oh, you wouldn't be a
right.
dick.
Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game.
Of course you would be a
what
dick.
I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I'm
Put on Minecraft.
I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you'd like it when I'm not around to set the rules.
Did you get another goal?
I don't think you'll enjoy it as much, but who knows?
Oh
You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Take
Who are you
care,
playing?
Stanley.
Avalanche? Am I just stuck here? Alright, so my favorite color is blue. As joking, no, it's like black. I think I like black. I got an Apex Legends email. And I don't even play Apex. Alright, let's see what's in the blue.
Hold on. What are you doing?
I'm loading into something. Oh.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come.
Whoops. Ow. Are we in the back rooms? Is this the back rooms? The hell? Only in Hawaii, Ohio? Wait a minute, that's my number, 427. Oh shit.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
R.I.P. Is it gonna reset me? Oh no.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, I'm actually gonna play the game how it is. I'll find more endings.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How did the first slide was how not to get fired, and this is how to solve a dispute with a coworker. And that's cool, I guess. What happened?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Alright. You can't be doing this to me, game, because there's two options. I'm gonna see what's in here.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that.
Wait, what?
And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Oh, shit.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh, shit!
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
Oh, shit.
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real.
Oh, it's hearing the red.
I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I?
Dear people,
and everything went black.
Doom. Dearly loved in
This
my
is the
ears.
story of a woman named Mariella.
Mariana.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Oh no.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So I'm going to play the game how it is intended, and I'm going to go upstairs to the office.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Meeting room.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, this is totally different. Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
How long do you think the chicken will be? Oh.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
There's 12 trophies in this entire game.
Stanley walked straight ahead
Whoa.
through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Well, this says escape. I'm gonna go ahead and escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Escape is totally not
Stanley
bad.
was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
So apparently red light means good. Cool. Red light's always okay. And hearing strap belts means it's okay. I
As the
am
machine
strapped
whirred into motion
in.
and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he
This
reflected
is
that his
not
life
what
had
I
been of
meant by
no
being
consequence
strapped. Come
whatsoever.
on, let me
Stanley
go.
can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped
I'm
forever in
about
his
to be
narrow
crushed
vision
by a
of what
giant
this
meat
world is.
pancake.
Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he
What?
resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to
I'm
his
not
brief
going
and
to
shallow
accept it.
life.
No.
Farewell, Stanley.
Stop. Get me out of this bucket. Stop. Bye.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body,
I'm not
killing
dead,
him
bitch.
instantly.
I'm going in. What the hell?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same.
Hold up. It's a
Do you
layout.
see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Corridor, office layout. Office is right here. And then paint through here. There's 2 doors. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so left or right? Oh, hey, the credits. This is a unique credit thing.
Then he pushed the number 4.
What? Nope, bye. I'm not pushing the number 4. Freedom it. Do what?
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
If that's a button, I'm gonna push it.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No,
I pulled a lever.
perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Oh, my shit vibrating.
You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game.
It says turn off the PlayStation.
Path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you.
Well, I'm dead either way. It don't matter if I do anything. Apparently, Mom just completed a 12-mile drive. Still there. Oh, she was in Kaiser. Alright, I'm gonna leave the video off here. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll upload part 2 tonight. See ya.